Session 32 of the Kojima Productions Report. We're back again with Brian Ashcraft, and we're going to continue the conversation. But you want to go on to the next question? I hope I didn't. I don't think I sabotaged this question.
Okay, good.
It reads quite well.
Okay, good. And this one we can say the person's name. It's from Diehard Gamer in America.
Right.
So somewhere in the United
Not very
States.
specific.
Perhaps in Hawaii.
Yes.
We don't know.
That's part of America.
Indeed. It says, what are Mr. Kojima's other favorite games besides Super Mario Brothers for the Famicom in Japan and the Nintendo Entertainment System here in the States?
Right. So that's a great question, and we always try to tie the show back, obviously, to the studio, Mr. Kojima, and things. And so, I prepared the list that he has. He's got about 12 or 13 games that he's listed as his favorites.
Right.
And then I brought this with me.
Okay.
And you can jump in whenever you want if you have anything to say about some of these games. But he's got a very eclectic list.
Right.
And most of them, I think, if not all but one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, just one of them was developed in the United States.
Yep.
Which is kind of interesting. So he's got. How do you pronounce this? I've always wondered. Like the number 2.
Xavius. Right?
Xavius, is that the right? Yeah, that's right. The arcade game, the old school arcade game, Xavius. I've never had to say it.
Right.
I just always read it.
Right.
And then, do you know this game? Number 2 on his list is it's a Famicom game. It's called Portapia Renzoku Satsujin.
I've never played. What is that?
It's like a adventure game. Like it's the old school LucasArts games from PC. I think it's the Japanese equivalent. So
Okay.
The 2D graphics, simple graphics, but it's kind of like a crime story. And I think that influenced a lot of his work on Snatcher.
Right.
And this happens to be on a list of a lot of people's favorite games of all time. It's one of those kind of like maybe the equivalent like Monkey Island.
Right.
For Americans.
Right.
This game I do not know of. It's a PC game. It's Yukai Annai.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's pretty old if he's been playing. If it was on PC,
yeah.
2D adventure. And then a game that is on a list of so many developers in Japan that really inspired them, as well as Mr. Shinkawa from our studio, but Out of This World.
Yep.
Did you ever play this game?
No, I have never played that game.
But wasn't there some kind of revival recently where the creator of Out of This World created like a high res version of it and then up like with his own studio? I thought
really?
I saw this maybe on Kotaku, but maybe I'm wrong.
Really? I don't know. I mean, like somebody else might have. Posted that, but yeah, I have no idea. I mean, that sounds nuts.
Yeah, it is. I think he published it himself. He's like, okay, if you want to buy it, just send me $10 or $20 over PayPal. I mean, it's really like very indie.
Right, yeah.
And I've always wanted to check it out, but haven't made the time.
Right.
So moving right along, another Famicom game, Hostages. I don't know what this game is about.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done my homework.
Right, yeah.
I could tell listeners all about these great games if I just tell you the names.
Right.
And this game, I hope you've played.
Yes, of course.
You want to go?
Yeah, it's Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Right. Did you ever beat that?
I've never beaten it. I mean, I always get near the end and then kind of cave. But
right.
Yeah,
it's a great game. I mean, a lot of great atmosphere, and that's a very influential game. And then the next one on the list is Super Punch Out, which I thought was interesting.
Right.
Not Punch Out.
Right. Yeah.
And
I wonder why.
I'll have to ask him someday.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Because I think most people they enjoy Mike Tyson's take on punching people.
Yes. Yeah.
And next up is another arcade game. It's Operation Wolf. I think I remember playing this in the arcade. It's got like an AK-47 or like a.
Is it like an Uzi or something?
Yeah, maybe it is an Uzi.
Yeah.
It's a quality game, and I think you can kind of see some influences in like the first few Metal Gears as well.
In a really cool cabinet from what I remember.
Yeah, definitely. I remember kicking that when I was losing. And then next up is Dragon Quest V, Super Famicom, and then Resident Evil, more recent title.
Yep.
The first Resident Evil, and then lastly Phoenix Wright, which is a great game. The first Phoenix Wright, which was recently ported to the DS.
Yeah.
And he had the creator of Phoenix Wright on the show about maybe 6 months ago, and they chatted. I guess they forgot to invite me to that one.
Yeah.
That's cool. I forgive you guys. So yeah, that's a list, Mr. Diehard Gamer.
Yes.
We'll check to see if you're really diehard, if you know about Yukai Annai and Hostages.
Yes.
That's the ultimate litmus test.
Right. I mean, how diehard you really are.
Exactly.
So.
Well, maybe I'll follow this up in another show, and then I can explain what these games are about. Maybe have them come on there and explain.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
why they're cool.
Yeah. I think that reading through the list, it's kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, but if he actually, was able to articulate, what exactly it was about, for example, Phoenix Wright or or hostages that he really, really loved. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, jumping out of the mailbox into another warm pool is the news. And not a whole lot of news this week. Want to chat a little bit about the national MPO tournament that we had a few weeks back. And we had different dates, different tournaments set up all across Japan, where Mr. Kojima and then Mr. Senju and Kikuchi Yumi, they all went down to, for example, Fukuoka. They went to Osaka, and they visited these different events. And like people would get together, they'd play, and then they determine the best from that city.
Right.
And they would go and represent their city in Tokyo for the national tournament.
Right.
So yeah, we had like the national tournament a few weeks back in Roppongi, and people from Fukuoka came up and Osaka, and it was very cool. And so it ended up being Tokyo versus Osaka, as you probably expect it to happen.
As it always is.
Yeah, and look, Tokyo came out with the victory, and it was cool because it's something that you can only do in Japan. I think is that having that kind of, because it's such a tiny little country,
right?
And I just wish we could do something like that in Europe or in the States, but
America's immense. It's so like. When I go back there, it's like, wow, this is a really huge country.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it sucks because where are you going to meet? You're going to meet what in like Oklahoma? Like we're going to meet in the middle,
right.
Somewhere.
That would be rad.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be the best if it was,
But it's cool. Like you can cover the stuff too. I mean, like I think Monster Hunter 2 is doing this now. They're doing like a national tournament.
Yep.
And do you attend those events like when they have like the Tokyo? Like the preliminary event, do you ever go and check those out? Or?
Like if there's like a big arcade, like for example, like I think what Armored Core 4 is like, I think doing a big tournament, or they just had one. Yeah, I mean, I'd go to it, but I haven't covered any of those events. I'd love to. I mean, I know that they have a lot of like kind of arcade tournaments, and I know Innerbrain, the people who publish Famitsu, they'll like go there and film it,
right?
And then they'll put it on like DVD.
Yeah, like the Famitsu Wave DVD,
yep.
Right?
And then people will watch like people beat each other in like arcade games.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
And the amazing thing is there's like tons of people in the audience just kind of sitting there like cheering them on. I mean, I guess there's the same thing, professional gaming in the United States.
Yeah,
but these aren't professional.
They're not. It's just for fun. Yeah. Like families show up.
Yeah.
And that was one of the surprising things at the MPO tournament was there was like a family of 4, including the mom who was on a team.
Right.
And they were kicking ass. Yeah. It was awesome. And I was rooting for them. And I think they got knocked out in like the pre-final round, which was really impressive.
Wow.
So very hardcore players.
Yeah.
And but when I was in Osaka, like that was one thing that I did, and this is a tough job. I was writing for Xbox Nation magazine, and my job was to cover Xbox in Japan,
right?
Exclusively.
Ouch.
Yeah. So I would had to go. I went to every single event that they had set up because simply because there was a lack of news.
Right. Yeah.
And so like you can imagine how hard it would be to write about the 3rd Halo 1 Taikai.
Right.
Where like somebody rents out like some kind of like a recreation room.
Right, yeah. Some guy's basement.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They all bring TVs, and they all bring their freaking 10-pound Xboxes.
Right.
And everybody gets together and they play.
Right.
And what are you going to write about?
You're going to write about that there's 10 people and that there's a glimmer of hope or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly. Yeah. So at least some gamers have figured it out in Japan. That's usually like the overall theme that I had. And it was fun, It's not. I don't think it's the most envious job,
right?
Covering exclusively Xbox in Japan, but
I have to ask you a question. I mean,
sure.
I've covered the 360 in Japan. Covered the launch, and you used to write about it for a magazine. Do you think that what do you honestly think? Is there a shot? Does Microsoft have a chance?
Sure, I think they have a chance. I mean, I didn't think so before, especially after the 360 launch. I thought this was their big chance. It was just kind of a ripple, like a ripple in the wind, or ripple in the Japanese pond.
Right, yeah.
Where it went back down to like Xbox One levels, like the sales, like weekly figures, like 1,000 units a week or something.
Right, yeah.
It's really sad. But lately, they're up to like 6,000, sometimes 10,000.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's something to ignore, I don't think. I mean,
yeah.
When you're moving 30,000 units a month, sure, that's not PS2 numbers, or that's not Wii numbers, but that's still significant. And when you're selling how many did Blue Dragon move? I mean, a couple 100,000.
Yeah, it did all right. I mean,
that's significant, I think.
Yeah, I wonder how, because I guess the Blue Dragon anime is starting up next month. So I wonder if that's going to impact sales or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a great strategy to make the system synonymous with Blue Dragon and Toriyama's art, which has so much influence and so much impact in Japan.
Right, and Sakaguchi's mustache. So
right, exactly. That's the reason why I want to play Blue Dragon. Yeah. It does appear in the game, right?
Yeah, it's the last boss.
It better. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that there's still a chance? I mean, Idolmaster obviously is one reason to buy it, a 360 in Japan, but
right. I don't know. I mean, honestly, sometimes people will read Kotaku and they'll be like, "Oh, you like this console the best," or "You hate this console." And honestly, I'm like them all the same. But I guess just covering it news-wise, yeah, it'd make a nice story if they could turn it around. I don't know if how they will or to what extent. That remains to be seen. I mean, the PS3 thing is going to start picking up steam slowly but surely, and then Microsoft will have some serious competition that way. But yeah, I think that they're making a valiant effort.
Right. So. When I was writing for XBN, I interviewed Mike Fisher, who used to be one of the most influential members in the Xbox Japan team.
Yeah.
And he was always saying that it just takes one title to break into the industry, and they've been waiting for that title for 8 years or 7 years, and it hasn't come yet. But he's saying, those Pokemon hit the United States, and then it exploded. The GBA sales went up, went crazy, or the Game Boy Color sales went crazy.
Right.
So, and I believe him. I think that it just takes one title from America or from Europe, or from the West, to really bust things open. And I'm still waiting for that. So I guess we kind of both on the same page. I mean, I think they still have a chance. In other words, right?
Hopefully, yeah. Well, we all have a chance.
Even the Xbox in Japan.
Right.
But, so that's all I got as far as my list of things I wanted to chat about, unless you got something that you wanted to address, if you want to plug something or...
Plug something. Okay. So actually, something that I wanted to maybe talk about is that Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
In the Xbox 360.
Oh.
Do you think that this is my question to you?
Okay.
Because if I ask you this straight out question, is MGS4 going to be on the 360? You'll say I don't know.
Right.
But do you think that the fact that some consumers are thinking or expecting the game to appear on the 360 eventually, do you think that will impact sales at all?
Of the 360 in general?
Of MGS4. For example, some people may not buy the PS3 version, or they just may put it off.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think it would affect sales, and simply because I think if we would announce it, this is all hypothetical, but if we would announce it, I think it would. If people who have a 360, they would not end up buying a PS3 because these are both very expensive consoles.
Right.
And I think when you comparing to for example, the PS2 and the Xbox One situation, where we put out both Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance on both consoles, where at that time I think for $300 a pop or $250 a pop, it was a little more common that gamers would have both.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like in this generation you kind of have to choose one, unless you have a really big.
Unless you're rich like me.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're rich like Brian.
Yeah.
Or you're like a loser like me who has two 360s and also a PS3.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it would definitely impact sales, and what I want to ask you is that. What's this whole fascination? Does it just seem logical that it would end up on 360? Is that why people keep talking about it week after week?
I don't know. It's like people's Gray Ghost or Great Whale, or I mean, it's like Moby Dick or something. Well, yeah. What is people's fascination? I don't know. I think that a lot of people want to play the game, and I think that some of those people don't want to have to buy another machine to play it. And I think that a lot of people can't afford all machines, but if you can, please buy them.
Yeah, totally.
It makes for less flame, fewer flame wars. But yeah, I think that people, if you guys never announce, if you just release MGS4 and don't say, okay, this is PS3 exclusive, or don't make a firm stance on which consoles it'll appear, do you think that there will be a group of consumers who are not willing to buy the PS3 and the game to play it, that are just going to say well, it's eventually going to appear on the 360, so I'll wait. Do you think that will impact sales or not?
I think it would, yeah. I think so. I think you're right.
It seems like that when people talk about Metal Gear Solid 4, that's how they're talking about it now, which is, in a way, I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, what do you think?
I think it's fun. Just as on a personal level, I love seeing all the rumors and the news and the crazy confirmations that people get.
Right.
Like I get emails all the time, or like I'll see it on different message boards. Like I just talked to a Konami representative, and they just told me, they gave me a wink that yes, it's coming. I'm like, who are you talking to? You know, like
right. I have a question. I mean, does it ever bother you that you can't
just open up and go?
Yeah, I mean, because before you were doing freelance work,
right?
And now you're in the industry and probably NDA'd up the wazoo.
Sure.
But do you ever wish that you?
Yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me like every day.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It bothers me every day, and that's one of the things that bothers me about Japan, and that's one of the reasons I left. Mm-hmm. And then I came back to work here.
Really?
Yeah. So I quit. Well, I didn't quit XBN. XBN folded, and then I started doing other writing gigs, and then partly because I ran out of money, but I decided to go back to the States because I was tired of the way that Japanese publishers will try to control your stories. They want to do the check. They want to check your writing, and they want to check your article about their creator, about their game. They want to check your game review about their game.
Right.
Before you send it or publish it in a magazine. And that's not journalism to me. That's PR.
No, that's PR.
And that irritates me so much.
Yeah, I know. And it's like one of those things that if anyone ever asks to check stuff, I mean, it's just, especially at Kotaku, it's like, go away.
Right, totally.
We're not going to do it. I mean, we're going to do it this way, or, we're not going to do it.
See, that's the best way. That's the best stance. Like what I did in this, I'm not proud of this, but I'm willing to admit that when I was writing one article about one game from one publisher, and they wanted me to check it, or they wanted to check it, and I didn't know about this beforehand. I went up there, did the interview, wrote the story, and then they said, by the way, before we allow, I don't know how they were supposed to prevent me from doing it, but they said, you have to have a check.
Right.
Like, you have to send it to me before. And we were going to deadline in 24 hours.
Right.
So I sent it to them and said, sorry, we can't read English. Can you translate into Japanese? I'm like, what the frick is this? And so,
really?
So what I did is I took out all the stuff that I thought they might object to.
Right.
And then I sent it to them.
Right.
And then they said, okay.
Right.
And then I put that stuff back in.
Right.
And I sent it to the publisher, and it was printed.
Right.
And everything was cool.
Right.
But, everything I took out was just my opinion on the game, that this is looking good. This is stuff that maybe needs some work.
Right.
Or this is stuff that maybe might not fly in the States. But, that's journalism, And, like, when you call a journalist to come into your studio, you got to expect that,
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, and I've noticed that also kind of outside of the game industry in Japan especially, where, like, I'm doing an interview later today, and, they've already asked to, like, check it. And I'm not going to let them do it. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I don't know if it's how, journalism in this country works, or if that's just what people are used to, but...
as far as I'm concerned, I think that's how journalism works in Japan. It's not just the game industry; it's the news. There's a lot of, there's some people would argue against this, but I think there is a lot of nationalism for Japan with Japanese writers. Like this whole idea that they're not going to bash their homegrown companies as much as they would a foreign company, because they will obviously want them to succeed. And would you agree with that to a certain extent?
I don't know. That's like a big can of worms.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big can of worms. So I don't know about that. But I do know that that there seems to be kind of a slightly different relationship or understanding with the press. And I think that what makes it hard for covering games is that I'm not playing by those rules. And so sometimes companies don't know what to do. And they don't know how to react or whatever.
So that's what I like about Kotaku is that you don't get, it's not a PR guy approaching you saying, can you write a story about this?
Yeah.
And then here's this is when the embargo lifts. This is when you can upload it.
Right.
Like screw that. Like that's not journalism.
Yeah. The thing that's kind of great about the site is that Brian Crescente, who's the editor there, he comes from a very strong kind of newspaper or journalist background. And he's kind of, filtered that through everyone who writes for the site. So, that's what we're doing. We're not working in the industry, we're covering it. And we're trying to do the best that we can.
Well, I love it. And, you're asking, do I feel like this kind of constraint, this weight on me about, sticking with the NDAs and all this stuff? And I do. But I think I've talked more about my personal feelings about journalism more than I have ever in this show.
Oh, really?
Thanks to you, in this session. So
yeah, everyone's worried like how you sleep at night now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, everybody's worried that when I'm going to get fired for talking about how some Japanese game publishers. I'm not talking about Konami because I don't really know. I honestly don't know how Konami Japan deals with writers. I'm just talking about my experience.
Yeah.
And I've actually never worked with. Maybe only once I worked with Konami Japan when I was a writer in Japan. But yeah, I'm talking about some other publishers, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But one thing before we go out, we were talking about you brought up MGS4, and maybe I can go back to MGS4 real quick and say, and maybe ask you, you've had a number of stories about MGS4. Like, what do you think is the general consensus or the general feedback from users? I mean, outside of this whole 360 topic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people are looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think, people, especially in, abroad and of course in Japan, people are going to buy it. People are excited about it. Should be a big hit. The thing that I always wonder about is it's got this huge, kind of expectations kind of placed on it. So I think that I don't know do you guys feel pressure?
Oh, I think that's pretty clear. Yeah, we definitely feel the pressure, and I think the hype for it is a lot more so than I think for MGS3, for example. I think I think it's kind of ironic that we're continuing the story from MGS2, and it also has the same hype level that I remember from MGS2, like where it's going to be one of the titles that really is a great showcase for your new hardware.
Right.
Like MGS2 was that for the PS2, and MGS4 will be that for the PS3.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I think we feel a lot of pressure because we want this to be like the hallmark title for that console.
Right.
We want to be synonymous with the PS3.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, in that sense, that's why we're sticking to our guns, and it's a PS3 game, and it's going to look awesome. It's going to play awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And with that, I think I'm going to wrap up the show. We got Senju who's going to come in here and do the Senju report.
Okay.
And so, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.
It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Thanks, Brian. We'll hopefully have you on the show again sometime soon.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And have a safe trip back to Osaka.
I will.